Solvent-based adhesives are still the state-of-the-art in contact adhesives. There have been water-based products around for quite a long time. In fact, Renia has been working on them for the past 30 years. But solvent-based adhesives still offer a number of advantages in the day-to-day work with them. And that also has to be taken into consideration, solvents, organic solvents also pose certain dangers to health, and measures have to be taken to avoid them and to reduce them as much as possible. So, in general, what are the advantages of solvent-based contact adhesives? Well, the advantage is in the solvents, first of all. Organic solvents have the property to actually eat into some materials, to take care of some of the necessary surface preparation, to degrease materials, to clean them in a way. And so solvent-based adhesives are a lot more tolerant to surface impurities, to any sort of stain, grease on the surface. Yes, if you bond a very greasy material, it should obviously still be clean, because anything oily is the natural enemy of anything sticky, anything to do with bonding. But they are a lot more tolerant to these kind of surface impurities than a water-based adhesive would be. The second advantage, that's more of a production advantage, is that the selection of base materials is much greater for solvent-based adhesives than it is for water-based formulations. So we have a much greater choice in solid raw materials that we put into the adhesives, and therefore can create a larger variety of adapted adhesives for certain applications, and that is not so easy with water-based products. This will change over time, and this will change very clearly with the demand for water-based products, and a lot has happened there in the past 30 years already. Now, let us have a look into the downsides of using solvent-based adhesives. The first downside is, obviously, organic solvents are flammable. This means that precautions have to be taken in storage, not just that, also in transportation. Organic solvents, depending on package size, have to be shipped in a certain way. They classify as hazardous goods, again depending on package size. So larger containers, larger than 5 liters or 1 gallon, have to be shipped as hazardous goods, which usually incurs a fee and makes shipping more expensive. Smaller containers can be shipped as limited quantity, which handles similarly to non-flammable goods, but still it is something that needs to be taken into account. Storage, same problem. Solvent-based products have to be stored in suitable containers, suitable cupboards for flammable materials, or in a suitable room with fire suppression systems, whatever your local guidelines prescribe, whatever the fire code suggests there. This is different in every country, in every state in the United States. So if you want to store a larger quantity of solvent-based adhesives, of solvents in general, make sure that you're legally allowed to do so. Solvents also pose a health hazard. That's the second issue. And that depends very, very greatly. We get often asked, well, what mask do you need? What sort of filter do you need? Are your adhesives dangerous? Well, the answer to that is yes. Sure they are. Everything is dangerous if you use it the wrong way. And every hazardous material is dangerous to your health if you do not use it in the right way. If you use proper ventilation, if you take care that the maximum concentration limits for the adhesives are respected, that you do not go over them in your workplace, it's going to be fine. But make sure that you do that. These values are given in the SDS sheet. It's called the safety data sheet for a reason. These are available on our website for all the branded main Renia products. If you have something a little more special, you can always request them from us directly via email, over the phone, right, send us a fax, whatever. And we'll make sure to get you the most current SDS with all the required safety information. If you're working with a professional to take care of these things, they will most likely just require the SDS, and they will know the information that they need. Ventilation, I already mentioned that. Fume extraction is a very good way to increase your ventilation. Filtering is a good way to purify air if you are unable to vent the air outside. There are certain considerations that need to be taken if you're working with a filtering system, such as charcoal filtering, such as making sure there's no dust contamination in the filters, making sure the filters are exchanged regularly. But again, this is something that we can only advise you very, very, very basically on these issues. This is up to a professional who knows your workplace and who can actually give a specific recommendation on what needs to be done. So to sum up, solvent-based adhesives, yes, they do pose a health hazard, but it is a hazard that can be reduced greatly if you follow the proper procedures, and that is